even in the opening chapters of Scripture here, Genesis 1, 2, and especially 3, you have this sense that there's a conflict, there's a dispute, something is amiss. Something's going on.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible, though? Think about it, Danny. The devil began his career as a politician.
Oh, have mercy.
He began his career as a politician. As David was just
I think this is going to be a theme.
We're back to politics
This is
again.
going to be a
We
theme.
want to avoid politics, but the thing is, the great controversy, check this out, Danny, check this out. The great controversy is, in a sense, a political battle. In fact, in Revelation chapter 12, we have this line that is just so filled with meaning. It says, war broke out in heaven, or King James Version, there was war in heaven. Just straight into the point. There was war in heaven. The word war there in the Greek is polemios, from which we get English words like politics and polls and polemic. And yeah, but here's what's happening. As David pointed out, the devil was kind of staking out his territory at the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and hoping that Adam and Eve would approach so that he could then expand that territory. And that's precisely what happened, Danny. So that brings us to scene 2, movement 2 of this story, and that is abdication. So for the note takers, for those who want to just really grasp this material, abdication is the next word in the story.
So Ty, just quickly for us, for some who may not know that word, what are we talking about? What are some synonyms?
Okay, to abdicate means to yield or to give up, to move from a position in which you have authority to giving that authority over to somebody else. So it's a word of transfer. It means that you're transferring authority. Now, we know in the story that Adam and Eve have been given or delegated dominion, authority over planet Earth, right? But now they, through the exercise of their free will, they abdicate, they yield, they give the authority.
Satan is maybe an important point later on you may get to. So Satan didn't take it. They gave it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I like
it's a very good point. He deceived them, but he couldn't actually bypass their free will.
So they had dominion and they had free will over the earth.
So you're right. He didn't take it by force. He took it by deception, which means he had to work upon their thinking process and bring their free will over to his side.
And we find that when you mention there, Ty, that Satan really is postured or sort of looks like a politician. He does. I mean, you have this language in Revelation 12, war, polemos in heaven. But even just there in Genesis 3, you just get a sense that not everything's on the up and up. Has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Oh, he knows that in the day that you eat thereof, you have this political posturing and positioning.
That's right.
And I love your point there, Danny. It's something that I like it. I like the clarity of it and the simplicity of it, that it wasn't Satan's to take. God didn't set the great controversy up to be a fist fight or a battle, in some sort of a physical melee. No, he has to persuade them, he has to talk to them, he has to usurp God's standing in their minds before he can get them to abdicate and say, oh, hey, take what was given to us. I like that.
So he talked about him. So around here we say he was politicking.
That's right.
He was
exactly what he was doing.
Exactly. So
very interesting. I'll just throw in one quick thing here for those that want to go a little deeper. One of the major passages in the Old Testament, Ezekiel 28, that sort of depicts what Satan was doing when he was Lucifer before the transition to Satan. It uses a very interesting word. It says that by the multitude of your traffic or merchandise, King James says. 2 times it uses this in Ezekiel 28. By your trafficking, by your merchandising. And it's an interesting idea. It basically is that he had something to sell. He was selling something.
That's deep.
That's right.
It is. It's very interesting. And the word there, the root word, the Hebrew root word there, means to gossip. It's the same root word. He wasn't selling wares or items or widgets. He was selling a picture. He was
ideas.
He was selling ideas.
Wow.
And Eve bought the ideas. Now, Scripture says in the New Testament that Adam wasn't so sure about the ideas, but he was really sure about Eve.
That's right.
He took that romance too far.
He did. He should have had more blueberries and exercise. That's right.
So we've moved from dominion.